Hello world and welcome back to another video for Future Tech Ideas. I'm Cole Kruper with Future Tech Ideas obviously, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the Fujifilm Finepix SL300 camera. Now before I get into the full review, I'm going to go over the features of this camera right here. This is the Finepix SL300. It is apparently the highest end SL300 camera. SL camera. And right here we have the box, which I'll take a look at a bit too, and some of the features and so on. So we're going to start off with the camera and kind of what's on it. So I guess on this side here we have a zoom in and out button on the lens. We have this little eyelet for the strap, and there's really not much else on this side. There's a speaker right here and a button for the pop-up flash, as you can see there. Now on the front, obviously we have this flash right here. We'll just put that down. It says Fujifilm right there, and this is the lens here. This is the lens cap. Just take that off. Now it does come with a little thing that does attach here. I just be honest, I've been figuring out how to get it on. But it is a 30x zoom, so you can zoom in a long ways. And this here is rubberized, and as well on this grip here, it is also rubberized. You have another zoom in and out button right here, as well as a button to take a picture or record a video. That's really about it on the front, other than this really big lens. So on the top, we have this dial for the different modes in the camera. That there is apparently a hot shoe for an external flash, if you wanted something like that. Obviously, we have another button here which will bring you into menus, basically with a bunch of different camera settings. Some more commonly used ones. You have an on-off button here. The burst shot mode, which apparently in its fastest setting can take 8 pictures per second, which is pretty cool, and another framing button right there. That's really about it on the top. It is a 14 megapixel camera, by the way, and it does take good pictures. It's a little finicky, I think, but I think once you get to really know how to use this camera, you'll definitely get really good pictures out of it. And I'm thinking about looking into a tripod as well, because I think if it's obviously on a tripod, it can take better pictures in certain conditions. It's not quite like your regular point and shoot camera. Now in the back we have a 3-inch LCD screen, electronic viewfinder, directional pad. There are buttons, left, right, up, and down. That is, I believe, an exposure compensation button. Here, what's that say? That's a display button, which will give you different options for your display. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And that's for the view your photos. Obviously a menu button there. That's really about it for this camera. On the bottom, we have, obviously the name of the camera there, and the slots here for the battery and SD card. The battery in this is actually quite large. Surprisingly, it's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, but this is it right here. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would have been. Just put that back into the camera. It is apparently supposed to take about, I believe, 300 shots on the single charge, I believe. So let's power this thing on and take a look at it now. Actually, let's take a look at the box first before we do that, so just set this down. Now this is the box it comes in. That shows it, obviously I'll zoom down on this. It says, 14 megapixels, HD, 720p movies, blink detection, face recognition, high resolution LCD screen. It also has what it says, dual image stabilization as well. That's what it says in the box. On the bottom here, we just have different information, package contents. In the box, it comes with obviously the camera, the chargeable battery, the battery charger, the plug adapter, shoulder strap, the USB AV cable, lens cap, the lens cap cord, and the CD, which allows you to install software on your computer for it. And it says the same thing here in various different languages on the box, but English is the only one I can really read. Simple box really. And it is a little bigger than some other boxes for smaller cameras. Obviously, here's what it looks like inside. Empty, not really much there. So let's get to the camera now, because I think that's what people want to see. Power it on there. Obviously now it's on. We'll just put this in. Let's put it. Now, when I got it, it was in SR Auto mode, which basically says here selects optimum camera settings, and so on. So basically, it is that for obviously for certain modes. So it does try to take the best picture possible. in that situation, obviously. So this is it right here. It's kind of weird to do. Hopefully that shows up well. Now if you look at the dial here, you should see SP. So if you put it there, okay, it's in that mode now. Now this will give you, now I don't know how well you can see this, but this will give you access to, if you press menu and then OK again, it'll give you access to different scene modes. Now I think the screen is too bright for you to see it, but maybe if I turn the brightness down you'll be able to see it. But it gives you access to different modes. I'll read them out for you, I guess. But so there's natural light, portrait, baby mode, smile and shoot, landscape, sport, which sport is just a fast shutter speed, so you can capture things that are moving. There's a night mode, a night tripod mode. So obviously have it mounted on a tripod. So obviously it has a slow shutter speed to let in that maximum amount of light at night. Fireworks mode, sunset, snow, beach, party, flower, text, and there's zoom bracketing. What that is it'll take three pictures. It'll take three pictures at once, basically, and it just crops them down. To three different sizes. So let's see here. Got to do something here for you. Now I think if I turn down the screen brightness, I think you'll be able to see it better. So I'm going to try and do that right now. LCD brightness, turn that down. See how that looks. Okay, so you can see it better now. That's turned right down. Oops. That's something else from earlier. I just pressed the wrong button. Okay, it is a good, easy camera to use. It's just takes a little bit of getting used to. So yeah, you can see that now. It appears. So I guess I can show you a bunch of other things on the screen now, obviously, because you can see it now. Yeah, so it's turned all the way down. We're going to change it into a different mode now. So yeah, what I was saying is, I'll show you now, in scene modes here, you have natural, as you can see here, and different ones. You just scroll through them, you can see different ones. There we go. You can see there. So you have to, what you do is you put it in that SP mode, and then you press the menu OK button, which is right there. It's a little awkward to do. And then you'll see scene position, you press OK there, and then you can choose your different modes. Like I said, sport mode is a really fast shutter speed for things that are moving. I did test that out, and I was kind of surprised. I tested it with a fan. Obviously the blades are moving really fast. Looks like it blurred our eyes, but the camera was able to stop those the fan blades, dead in their tracks. If you looked at the picture and you couldn't tell that they were moving. So I was impressed with that. And this thing was moving pretty fast too. Now it is a simple camera to use. I used a Canon PowerShot in the past, so it was a little different, but it's the same idea. Obviously, the Canon though didn't have a sport mode, so that is kind of useful on this camera here. Now, the pop-up flash is useful in some situations. Obviously, it's a good filler for certain lighting situations and so on, but it is good to have. And obviously, I think if you mounted this on a tripod, in darker areas, I think it could take really good pictures, and I think I'm going to try that out. So I may update this video with something like that when I try that out. But it is a simple camera to use. Like I said, there's a lot of different modes on the dial here. You have the SP mode, there's SR auto, and then there's an auto mode, and then there's the program mode, and then the shutter priority mode, which allows you to set the shutter speed, and there's an aperture priority mode, which allows you to set the aperture, I believe. And there's a manual mode, which allows you to set the aperture and shutter speed. So here, what it'll do is it'll actually, so obviously here we have the shutter speed, and I know you can't see this that well. And right there we have the aperture setting. Now in here, it'll tell you there's a plus and minus at the end of this, little line, I guess you could say. And basically what it tells you is if you have that little yellow thing in the center, it says that your picture will be good, but if it's at one end, it'll be, overexposed or underexposed, so it tells you that, so that's kind of useful. There's one other mode in here, there's a custom mode setting here. I haven't played much with that. There's a video setting I'm not sure if I'm impressed with the video on this camera. But then again, it is, meant to be a camera. I think this camera is really, really meant to be a true, just straight up camera and not, a true video camera. Obviously, there's a panorama mode on this camera too, which allows you to take 3 different pictures and it'll stitch them together. That is cool. I'm actually quite impressed with that. Surprised they threw that in, but you can take 3 different pictures here. It will create a panorama for you. So we'll just test it out right here. And then there's a little yellow plus that you have to move into another plus there. Takes another picture. And then you keep doing it. You keep doing that. And then another picture. So it does have a panorama mode on it, which is kind of cool. I was surprised with that. And then it stitches them all together for you. So it is cool to see that on a camera like this. Look at the pricing here in a bit. And the panorama mode does work quite well as well. I'll post some pictures of that later on, maybe on my website or Future Tech Ideas. I'm not sure yet. But and then it gives you the option to save it or just to cancel out of it. And then you're back in the SP, which obviously allows you to set the scene modes and all that, and then there's SR Auto. Now, there's also white balance. You can set the white balance on this if you're in a certain mode. You can't set white balance in auto, but we put it back in the SP mode there. You can, and obviously in manual you can as well, I believe. Oh, no, in SP mode it's also auto. Sorry about that. So if you put it, let's see here, which modes can do it. So in program you can do it, and I believe in shutter priority, aperture priority, manual, and most likely custom you can set the white balance. So if you go down the white balance here, what you do is you press the menu button, brings you to here, and then you scroll down to see white balance, just press OK again. Then it gives you a few various options. By default it's in auto. You have custom, fine, shade, fluorescent light 1, fluorescent light 2, fluorescent light 3, incandescent, and then you're back at auto. So obviously there's different white balance settings. That is nice to see on this camera. I actually would really expect that on this camera. And you can also set the image size and image quality. I'd recommend you set the image quality to fine for the highest quality image on this camera. By default it's set to normal, so make sure to do that. And obviously I'll show you the zoom now, so if you do that, that's how far it zooms out. So it's, obviously zooms out quite a ways. You have a 30x zoom on this camera, which is pretty useful. If you want to zoom while recording video, you do have to go into settings to make sure you can do that, because by default it is set to a digital zoom, which to be honest is, well, terrible on any camera. So if you go into menu again, you go down to set, and then you go into there, and you have to go down a bit, and then hang on. So movie zoom type, press OK. And just make sure it's set to optical instead of digital, because an optical zoom is much higher quality, and so on, obviously. And in certain modes, you can set the ISO levels as well. You can go up to, let's see here, you can go up to 6400. It says there's an auto mode, which it is in by default, but you can set the ISO levels as well if you want to do that. Obviously. It helps. If you're in a real rush, though, obviously, in auto might be quicker. But if you're somebody that wants to play around in manual mode, obviously you're going to have to play with all those settings. Now, there is a burst shot mode. So if you press this button here, press that there, it'll bring you into this, and you have a burst shot mode. Now, I'm going to show you something kind of cool. If you go over, you scroll to your right, you'll see something that says top 40. So if you press that and you start taking pictures, watch that. It just takes a bunch of pictures, and it'll take up to 40 pictures. So it takes a ton of pictures. Like I said, 8 pictures per second, which is pretty cool, I think. So it can take a ton of pictures really fast in that mode. So here we got a ton of pictures. It is a lower resolution because it is taking this picture so fast. There's a bunch of other modes in this camera as well. We'll go into those as well. To go back there, there's also Final 6, so you can take a bunch of pictures, and it'll only save the final 6. And then when you let go of it, it'll save the final 6 pictures that you took, which is kind of cool as well. So if you see something that's happening and you're in a rush, you hold down that button, you get a bunch of pictures, and then you let go of it when you think you got the one you like. And then you have a ton of pictures. There's also continuous shooting mode. as well. So if you press that button again, you'll see, let's see here, there's long periods. So basically in long period mode, you just hold down the button here, and it'll just continue taking pictures until you let go. So that is a cool, useful feature. Obviously, using this button here, I've seen, obviously, press that, and it'll allow you to take those pictures. But I am impressed with the camera so far. It does take better pictures and video, but that's kind of true with a lot of cameras. I did get this for about $176 at something like that, 170 something. That Future Shop is on sale, $50 off. So I believe it's $229 or something like that regularly there. On Fujifilm's website, it's actually a $250 camera. So I think I did get a good deal there. It's $250 directly from Fujifilm at Future Shop, which is, you know, for those who don't know, pretty much like a Best Buy. It actually is owned by Best Buy. It was on sale. The sale ends March 31st, so if you're interested in that and are in Canada and you're a Future Shop, then maybe you want to check something like this out. It is a good camera. It takes good pictures. It does take a little getting used to. If you keep it in auto mode, sometimes it will set the ISO to a higher level, and then you'll see a bit of, you know, a lot of noise in your images. But if you do get to learn how to use this camera and, you know, how to set the ISO levels, and maybe take a look at the tripod, I think this camera can definitely take a lot of good pictures, and I think a tripod is definitely something I'm going to look at for this camera. Obviously, on the bottom here, something I failed to mention earlier, you have the tripod mount there, so you just screws in. But it is a good camera, and like I said, I get it on sale, and like I said, it has that 30x zoom, which is pretty cool. But it is regularly like $229 or something like that at Future Shop. I'm assuming the price is probably the same at Best Buy. And directly from Fujifilm, it is $250. So it is a fairly expensive camera, but it definitely is a pretty nice camera. It has, you know, some pretty cool zoom on it, and it is comfortable to hold in your hand. It has this strap that comes with it, so you can put it on your neck or shoulder or something like that. You can do that. 14 megapixel camera there, like I said. And that's really about it. I think I can go over. I'm happy with the pictures it's taken. You can take a look at my Flickr account at flickr.com/photos/CK263, I believe. Take a look at some of the pictures I've taken. Obviously, and there is a macro mode on this camera as well. I almost forgot to mention that. There's so many features on this camera that I do forget to mention some of them. But there is a macro mode on it. There's a macro mode, and then there's a super macro mode, which is for close-up shots. Let's say here, for up to 2 centimeters close to something. So you have to be really, really, really close to something. And there's macro mode, obviously. In super macro, you can't zoom in or out. So you're just stuck like this. In macro mode, you can zoom in. But it is a good feature, and I think once I get to really, really know the camera, I could take some really good macro shots with this as well. You can mount an external flash up there as well. And there is a viewfinder on this camera right here. It's an electronic viewfinder. It is useful for different shots. If you want to take pictures like that, it is useful and does reduce camera shake as well. But I think that is really about it to go over. It's a nice camera. Oh, and yeah, this F mode here. If you press that F button there, you have options for ISO settings, image size, and then Finepix color. So you have different options. You have a chrome setting and a black and white setting. So to get into that, what you need to do is you press that F button there, and then it'll bring up this menu. Hang on. Brings up this menu here. And you have the ISO, image size, and the color settings. So you have standard, chrome, and black and white. So if you want to do that, you can. That is about it, like I said. Nice camera. Definitely happy with it. You can zoom in a long ways. It does have image stabilization, which does appear to work well as well. So that is a good thing. Like I said, that is the price of it directly from Fujifilm. It is a $250 camera, and at Future Shop, I was able to get it for $170 some. I thought it was $150, but now I really think, but yeah, it was $170. Good price, and like I said, it's normally $229 or something like that at Future Shop, and I'm assuming the price is most likely the same at Best Buy. So that is about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to follow at Future Tech Ideas on Twitter. We definitely need more followers. Keep the followers coming. And as well, check out futuretechIdeas.com, check out the blog posts we got up, and we have a new writer as well, Chris Call. Thank you to him for joining Future Tech Ideas, and this video is actually pushing 20 minutes, so I'm like, whoa, 20 minutes, whoa! So, that is my overview of the Fujifilm Finepix SL300 camera. It is a higher-end SL series camera, I believe. And once again, thank you, Chris Call, for joining Future Tech Ideas. He is a great writer. Check out his articles that we have up on Future Tech Ideas. He's just starting out with us. I don't know if he's making videos or not, but I'm sure he's going to do something like that. As well, so subscribe to this YouTube channel. As well, check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/CK263. And I'm trying to think of what else to say here. Obviously, check out my Flickr account as well. And, you know, instead of just putting all this stuff in the description, I just, you know, say it all out. It's going to be in the description anyways, just look there. But, to end this off, like I said, this is a really good camera, I think. And, you know, obviously I got it for, you know, almost $100 off what the Fujifilm is directly selling it as. And so I'm happy with that. It is, weight-wise, it's not that bad. It's got a little bit of weight to it, especially if you're used to a point-and-shoot camera. It's a little heavier, actually a lot heavier than a camera like that, but it is something you get used to. It's not, you know, super heavy either. See, I don't know what the weight is of it. Maybe it says on the box. I don't know. Let's see here. Gotta be something on the weight in this thing. Yeah, it's pretty much not that heavy. We'll just go with that. Yeah, it's not really that heavy. Let's see here. Well, the box weighs 375 grams, so I'm sure the camera weighs less than that. But, yeah, it is a fairly lightweight camera, especially for its size. It has a lithium-ion battery, which I was happy with. I did look at some Nikon cameras, and this Nikon camera I did look at, I don't remember the model number of it now, but it was a beautiful camera. A beautiful, wonderful camera. Did everything you'd want a camera to do. Everything there. Blah, blah, blah. It's great. But the problem is it took AA batteries. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. AA batteries in a camera, I'm sure you can get rechargeable batteries, but come on. I think lithium-ion batteries are better. Like, sure, they do have a lifespan, but they are going to save you time in the long run. Obviously, you know, lithium-ion battery will not last forever. You do have to replace it eventually. But it will last longer than a AA battery, because a regular AA battery you can't recharge. Obviously, you can buy rechargeable ones, but those don't have the greatest track record. But that's my take on it. This is my review of the Fujifilm Finepix SL300 camera, like I've said a million times now. So thank you so much for watching. Before I start rambling on, we'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like this video, comment on it, and all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.